packing foam, like this egg crate foam, this custom toolbox insert, and even this special static-free foam, makes a good cushion because it's so soft. But surprisingly, that same softness makes foam like this extremely difficult to cut. More difficult, in fact, than stone or steel. That's because the soft foam collapses or gives when pressed by a knife or blade. So the only way to cut it is to put enough pressure or force behind the blade to cut through the give. That's why it takes a massive computer-controlled bandsaw to cut a huge block of soft, squishy polyurethane foam into the thin slices that make egg crate foam, like the kind you can use as camping pads or as padding inside equipment cases. The sheer size of the block cuts back on the natural give in the soft foam, which could jam the blade. And the saw uses an ultra-sharp serrated steel blade that's mounted in the cutting head with so much tension, it stays perfectly rigid even as it sinks into the foam. Without the tension in the blade, the serrated edge wouldn't be able to glide through the foam and cut it like this without getting caught. When the saw is finished, the large block is cut into two smaller blocks with the exact contours or shape of the finished egg crate packing foam. But it takes a second saw to slice the blocks to the proper thickness. The tension on this steel cutting blade is set to 15,000 pounds per square inch, which is tight enough to prevent the blade from sinking into the foam. The cutting head drops with each pass until both blocks are cut into uniform slices. But without this machine, the egg crate texture of the foam would not be possible. The machine, called a convoluter, automatically slices the foam into two interlocking pieces of egg crate foam that look a little like the mouth of an alligator as they come out of the machine. The secret to creating the teeth-like texture is the interlocking spikes on these two rotating drums. The spikes press down on the foam right before it passes by a horizontal cutting blade inside the machine. The compression of each spike forces more of the foam past the cutting blade, creating the valleys in the egg crate pattern. The spaces between the spikes are cut less, and that creates the cones. This egg crate pattern is actually better at cushioning fragile stuff than flat foam, because the tip of each cone acts as a little shock absorber that diffuses any impact through the base of the cone. But it takes another kind of foam to package and protect computer hard drives and other electronics during shipping. Media foam, as it's called, has to be static-free, because static electricity can erase hard drives or hurt home electronics. This media foam is made from cornstarch, which is naturally static-free and 100% biodegradable. But it's also so soft, it takes a mechanical press and 115 tons of pressure to punch through the give in the foam to cut through it. Once cut, the foam snaps apart to create a static-free custom fit around any electrical component. However, for a custom-cut toolbox insert, a flatter, denser foam, like this sheet of polyethylene, is best. A computer determines the most efficient layout for the tools, and a high-density ceramic blade does the cutting. This type of ceramic blade is strong enough to cut through some of the toughest metals. So it's able to power through the foam without snapping. The foam itself is so strong that even after it's cut, it holds its shape without tearing or stretching. Which means it could last as long as the steel tools it cradles and protects inside a toolbox.